A lot of people judge me in a positive way. They think that I am built different. And they think that because I'm a very disciplined person. I'm successful. I get out of my comfort zone publicly. I'm a professional athlete that's trying to self-develop and connect with the community. And there's just a lot of my behavior that says I have my shit together. But the thing is, I'm very much like everybody else. And I self-sabotage. I have a history of self-sabotaging. What I think makes me different is that I don't let that overconsume my life and stay there. I find ways to overcome that. The thing is, my self-sabotage might not look like the normal person. Like, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't watch TV. Those are things I have sacrificed a long time ago and have become part of my identity. But the way that I self-sabotage is way more subtle, destructive, and deceiving. It's fake productivity. Basically, it's me over-planning everything without taking action. And I hate this loop because you feel like you're doing something, but you never get satisfied because you're always disappointed for never actually doing the things that will make you make progress. It was wasted energy. It was not efficient. The amount of times I have come into my own way from producing content because of perfectionism or procrastination or over planning, I can't even count the amount of years I've wasted. So I'm just like everybody else. But I don't let that come in the way, because when I hear advice that really resonates with me, I try to apply it. And there is one thing that I have heard from a spiritual teacher that really unlocked the solution for me to my self-sabotage that I want to share with you, because this could make the difference in your life. If you have toxic behaviors, whatever it is, and you want to stop having those bad habits, those tendencies, this is the advice that have helped me let go of all of that. Here's how it goes. Once you're aware that you have a tendency or a bad habit to do something, it then becomes a choice. It's not a habit anymore. It's not a pattern anymore. It is a choice that you're making. A bad habit is something that you don't know you have. It's something that is mindless. It's something that you don't have the awareness of. But once you're aware of it, there's no more tendency. It doesn't exist anymore. It should actually fade away because it becomes a choice. And if you really wanted the best for yourself, you would choose otherwise than the habit. The problem why you cannot let go of that bad habit is because you have the wrong definition of what a tendency, a habit, or a pattern is. And because you have the wrong definition, you keep doing it. For example, your definition of a habit is that once you discover that you have a bad habit or that there's something about you that you want to change, you have a toxic behavior, you think that there is a process that you need to do to let that go. But the simple awareness of having a bad habit is the end of the process. The hard time, the thing that is the most difficult, is becoming aware of something. Once you're aware of it, then it becomes a choice that you get to make if you want to keep doing it. But the reason why you keep doing the habit, even though you're aware of it, is because it gives you some sort of benefit. The best example is with alcoholics. And the reason why I know so much about this is because it has touched me personally in my life with a loved one. And I could observe that very authentically. When an alcoholic has a bad habit of drinking, you would think that they would stop doing it because they realize that, it's ruining their life. But why do they keep doing it? As much as it is physical, it is very much a choice because it gives them a lot of comfort. It gives them an escape. It gives them benefits. That's the belief system behind the bad habit. It gives them something good. So it's not totally bad. But luckily here, we're not talking about alcoholism. We're talking about your self-improvement journey. So this is going to be much easier. You have a bad habit of maybe watching TV or scrolling or wasting time or maybe hanging out with poor relationships. There's a part of you that sees a lot of benefits doing that. But what you have to do is think about the alternative and how much more aligned and how many more benefits you will give doing something else. If you're really clear about what you think that this is giving you versus what the other alternative is giving you, you will want to do what's best for you. You will want to get the best results. For example, in my life, my bad habit was procrastinating, having fake productivity, over planning, just doing a lot of things that felt like I was keeping myself busy and making progress, but actually wouldn't. One of the things that I am doing, that I have done for over a year now, is learning Russian. And for anyone that's learned a new language, most people quit, but I still haven't quit because I keep coming back. And the reason why I had a hard time with it was because I was always planning on learning Russian. I would try to find the best time in the day to do it. So I would sit down, I would be like, okay, I'm going to do it at 8 to 9 p.m. I'm going to do it in the morning when I wake up. I would try to always plan when I would do it without ever actually doing it. And once I was aware that that was the thing that I kept doing that would make me not do it because I would just plan on doing it, I stopped planning for it and I just opened my Russian book and I did it. And that's where change happens. When you see yourself do something different, you're telling yourself a different story. And when I started learning Russian and stopped planning on doing it, I would get dopamine because I would see myself in action. I would see myself in motion, on track towards my goals. And that is something that is reinforced. That is something that creates momentum. So all you need is the courage that in the moment when you're aware that you're doing the bad habit, to choose something different. When you're aware, you have a choice. Here's a trap that you need to be aware of. If you have a definition that when you have a habit, it's because you don't have a choice, that is deadly. Because when you feel like you don't have a choice, you have the benefit of feeling like a victim, victimization. And when you're in that mindset that, oh, I have a bad habit, it's so out of my control, it allows you to not take responsibility. And when you don't take responsibility, you can stay in your comfort zone and do nothing about it. And that feels good momentarily. That is a temporary pleasure. That is a way for you to escape, but it always comes and bites you back in the ass. You enter this cycle of pain and pleasure. But if you want true peace, if you want something that's way more fulfilling, aligned, enjoyable with your life, you will need to be disciplined and have the courage to do the thing that you might not want to do in the moment, but it is better for you in the long term. Peace comes from when you're in the moment and you take action. You make the choice that requires you to be responsible for your own life and not feel like a victim anymore. When you feel that courage and you step into this new version of yourself that does things differently, you will see the amount of power that builds inside of you. It feels so good. But if you just stay in your head, it's not going to work. If you start feeling bad for yourself and you feel like a victim and you're like, oh, why am I like this? Or I can't change. That is all a way for you to soothe yourself and find some sort of identity and self-worth through your pain. But you don't want that. You want more for yourself. You know you're meant for more. You know you have a lot to offer. And that version of you is a peaceful version of you. And if you want to be that person, you need to live in alignment with your values, with your truth, with your commitments. What you say you're going to do, you have to do it. And oftentimes, you keep a habit because it's simply familiar. You might be scared of the unknown. And when I say that is, you know what it's like and how you're going to feel if you keep doing the bad toxic behavior, if you keep watching TV, if you keep drinking, if you keep not working on your side hustle. You know how you're going to feel, it's predictable, and you know how you're going to soothe yourself from that. You might be scared of the unknown, but you know what's actually scary? Staying exactly the same. And you know what's even better? Realizing that there is nothing you will discover in the unknown that isn't simply more of yourself. So when you have that moment where you're indulging in that bad habit, you're about to eat that extra piece of junk food that you don't need, or I'm very familiar with the eating thing. I completely changed my relationship to food once I started changing how I behaved. I was scared of that unknown, of me not getting that soothing from the food that I would get when I would eat snacks, when I would eat just more than I needed to. But what's in the unknown is just more of who you're meant to be. It's that higher version of yourself. That's who you're meant to become. So I know it feels scary to let go of what's comfortable and familiar, but you're never going to be fully yourself if you don't have the courage to make a different choice. So I know that this advice here is kind of woo-woo, but my hopes is that my words resonated with you and can make you think differently and instill some sort of courage inside of you to do things differently. I want to create a movement of people that are built different. I want to be built different, but that always requires me in my lifestyle to prove it to myself. It's not something that I just say, it's something that I have to do over and over again. And if you want to be built different, you have to take responsibility of your life. You have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, feeling like a victim, and actually make changes. And if you want to have that be an easier process, you can surround yourself by like-minded people like me and other people in the community. It's the first link in my description. We support each other because we all want the same thing. We want to evolve. And if you're afraid to go there, if you're afraid of the unknown, that's okay. That just means that you need healing. You need to ask yourself, who are you afraid to be? Why are you so afraid to change? But if you're someone that is actually ready to become the highest version of yourself, you need to step into it. Step into the unknown. And this is great because you're onto this exciting adventure of just discovering more of who you already are. You just haven't allowed yourself to be. So I hope this gives you just enough strength to stop self-sabotaging. And it's not going to be linear. You're going to try it, you're going to feel good, and then you're going to go back to your old habits because you're going to lose track of what it is worth to do the different choice. But that's how you build the skill of self-awareness. The more self-aware you are, the more you're able to pause and realize that you have a choice all the time to make the right decision. If you're here like listening right now, that means that you are fully present and you have the power in you, because the power only lies in the present moment. That's where change happens. That's when transformation happens. You don't have to make it a huge, long process. It can happen in an instant if you choose to be. Now, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for investing in your personal growth. You have no idea how you doing this right now impacts other people, because you becoming a better you helps others to become a better them. Let's keep inspiring each other. I love you so much. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you very, very soon in a new video. Mwah.